Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to share a story with you that definitely surprised me about Toni Braxton and one of her first checks that she got, how much it was. And listen, it is the music business. It's still a business besides all the glitz and glamour. And who doesn't love Toni Braxton? Toni Braxton is a music legend, R&B music legend. And y'all know I wanted to be a singer. I still like to write music. And Toni Braxton is known Toni Braxton. She has a very unique voice. We know who it is when we hear her. And I love her songs. And it's shocking to hear how much they paid her because she was one of the biggest artists out during the 90s, especially. She's still making amazing music, but hit after hit after hit. It's just another sad love song breaking my heart like crazy. Guess I'm all torn up. Baby fat, breathe again, and I shall never breathe again. He wasn't man enough for me. Just be a man about it. Maybe he got a lot of me. Just be a man about it. I can't totally do Toni's deep, sultry voice that only Toni can do, an amazing performer and singer. So, I've heard about, artists going bankrupt before. I'm going to share two video clips with you. We have found a lot more about the music industry through the years on, how hard it can be, certain bad contracts or paying back companies and so much more. But it surprised so many people. I was shocked when I saw how much they gave her for, as one of the biggest artists out again. And let me just share this article with you right now. Okay, so this is the article. It says Toni Braxton reflects on receiving $1,972 as her royalty check from her first recording contract. Again, Toni Braxton, biggest star out during that time, $1,972. Okay, it says the woes of the music industry did not escape Toni Braxton. The award-winning singer unleashed her self-titled debut album in July 13th of 1993. The body of work released by LaFace Records and Arista Records climbed to the top spot on the Billboard 200. Within its first 4 months of release, the album of the then 26-year-old sold 1.7 million copies, okay? She was engulfed by the fame and was still taking in all of her newfound success. She says, I don't know how to feel. I've always dreamed of it happening, always deep down inside. I knew it would happen, but I never knew when, becoming this big, big star, she told the New York Times. Today, Toni Braxton, the album is a classic that has gone on to sell over 8 million records and is certified multi-platinum, according to the Recording Academy. Singles from the 12-track album include I Belong to You, Breathe Again, another sad love song, which earned Toni Braxton her first Grammy awards for Best New Artist and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. ABC reports that the album generated $170 million in global sales. However, the financial success didn't translate directly to Toni Braxton, who reportedly only got $1,972 from the royalty check from her first recording contract again. Per the outlet, music artists in the industry are required to cover costs such as travel, studio time, clothing, and music videos, all expenses that the record label initially pays for. She says what happens is they give you an advancement on the next record and then the next record. So you kind of stay in debt in a sense. Braxton says along with her excessive spending habits on home decor and flatware, also, one of the reasons she filed for bankruptcy in 1998. She says, I love dishes and house things, so I kind of lost it a little bit on the houseware. I mean, you're the biggest artist in the world. You should be able to have house dishes and houseware and a beautiful home and everything like that. Okay, so after releasing several albums under a new record deal, Braxton was able to regain financial security. However, poor album sales and a health scare that impacted her self-financed Vegas residency in 2007. She ended up filing for Chapter 7 in 2010. The Vegas show. She says the Vegas show, I just renewed all of my contracts with all my vendors. And then a month later, I got sick. She has lupus. Falling into the same financial predicament twice for Toni Braxton, bankruptcy and everything like that, made her feel unsettled. She says, because you're supposed to be smarter, people expect you to be smarter, she told ABC. Today, she's in a better circumstance. Her troubled financial history is a thing of the past, according to the Jingle bankruptcy law in 2011. Braxton cited she owed her previous and current label $16 million. Oh my goodness, $16 million in royalty payments, property taxes on her home, and 3 years of federal tax payments to the IRS, among other debts. She also claimed she owed a total of $18.3 million and had $1.6 million in assets. See, you see this? You see this? Owing $18 million, seriously, to record labels and the taxes and all of this? Okay, a federal court judge awarded Braxton a discharge for most of her debt, which is so good. She said, my bankruptcy situation worked out really good for me, Toni Braxton told ABC. You see, this shocks a lot of people who don't know you have to pay back all these things, going into debt, owing millions to your record label when she generated over $170 million with her album sales. So you're making the company all of this money, and this is what you get. And then taxes, and you owe this and you owe that. I'm telling you, that's what happens, though. A lot of new artists, the company will pour into them. They will pour into you. They pay for everything, but they don't tell a lot of people, yeah, we're doing all this because you are an investment. We believe in your talent. We're taking a risk with you being on our label. We're going to market you, or we should have you on tour, get some collaborations, try to get that hit. And then we want to get all of that money back and then some, and then you get what you get. And that's how it works with the business. That's why a lot of artists do to end up becoming independent artists. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, because a major label, they're going to get you on TV, on those commercials, these all types of stuff. And of course, your management will do other things, like maybe get you deals with brands, McDonald's, Popeyes, CoverGirl, all those type of things. And a lot of artists today, because the music industry is not the same, they're relying on tours to bring in money, because everything is streaming now and things are getting leaked and copyright issues. They're not always getting paid as much. Beyonce has made history as a woman who has made the most money with a tour in history in this country. She made around $570 million from this tour, the Renaissance tour and everything like that. But there's a lot that goes into it. That's why a lot of artists try to have as much control as they can, but these contracts are bad a lot too. Ice Spice, I had talked about how good it is that she doesn't have a 360 deal. Ice Spice gets to control her career a lot. She's making a lot of money and keeping that money. And it's a dream for a lot of artists. That's why it's great for you to write your own songs if you can. But it is great to have that hit from really good songwriters. But, getting your money from writing songs. A lot of artists, besides singing, do write songs. Carrie Hilson was writing songs before she came out, making her money. Okay, Beyonce wrote a lot of her songs. Mariah Carey wrote a lot of her songs, or they write songs for other artists because that's how they're keeping their money coming in. So writing songs, okay, if you are going on tour or doing concerts, here and there, it would be great if you can pick out your own clothing. And, some artists learn how to do their own makeup. They do things to cut costs the best that they can and all of that. because you don't want to end up paying like Toni, owing $18 million to the record label you made millions upon millions of dollars for. And again, so much is online now, digital. You can put your music on SoundCloud, Spotify. There's so many people, so many music artists out. But, the key thing I said again is that marketing, how people find out about you, how your sales and people buying your music, your streaming, promotion is very important. And that's the one part that becomes hard when you're independent. But there's so much more freedom when you're also an independent artist. There are also several artists who start their own record labels, but sometimes they're under a more major record label. They still work with them. I think that's what Beyonce and Jay-Z is kind of doing, what they got going on. Because, Beyonce discovered Chloe and Halle Bailey. She signed them and everything like that, and getting to develop artists and everything like that. So yeah, it's a music business. And again, $1,972 given to Toni at that time. Absolutely not. And I know that was shocking for her and upsetting. Okay. And she's like, I at least want to be able to buy some dishware. As a matter of fact, I want to share a clip. Let's just go back to memory lane when Toni Braxton was on the Oprah show. And Oprah, Toni was not feeling it years later. She felt like Oprah did her wrong, trying to shame her for buying certain type of dishes and stuff like that, because it shocked a lot of people when Toni filed for bankruptcy. They were like, hold on, you're Toni Braxton. They thought that she just wasted all her money in this and that she wasn't responsible when she filed. And Toni is like, no, I enjoyed some of my money, but the company want their money back and taking money from me, and you owe stuff. So let me share this old clip with you.
Appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show in March of '98.
Please welcome Toni Braxton.
She was so freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%.
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
She says to me, I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware.
First of all, I didn't know Gucci made silverware.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big. That moment completely changed my career. It made people look down on me.
I have empathy. I can totally understand how that made Toni Braxton upset, because she was put on the spot. Again, Toni Braxton was the biggest artist of that time, and she's still legendary status right now. But, being shamed for buying Gucci flatware, that's not, one thing people don't always think about is music artists, especially big music artists, they sacrifice their life to entertain us. They miss time with their family and friends. They perform on their menstrual cycles. They perform when they're sick, when they're tired. They have to fly to different countries and other places in this country, different time zones, and barely get any sleep or get to eat. They can't literally eat half the time because they have to keep their weight down, which is required on their company and contracts, and all of that. Photo shoots. Sometimes getting really bad breakouts and acne, skin getting ruined because constant makeup piled on constantly. A lot of work, and they're working, and a lot of people enjoy their music and they're entertaining you. They're not just doing it because they love to sing and love music. It is a job still. It's still a job, and you perform even when you're depressed, even after they've lost someone, going on stage the next night in pain over losing someone and singing while millions of people are screaming for them and all that. And you are a brand to a lot of companies. You are literally a brand. And that's why so many go into depression too, because no one, at the end of the day, a lot of people, you're in and then you're out. You know, they say you get 15 minutes of fame. That's why you see so many just branching off into different things, keeping their Beyonce has been successful because she releases an album every year and she keeps her name out there and she works really, really hard with her tours and, you know, keeping her fan base. But it's a lot of work that goes into it, you know, and I'm like, if I was Toni Braxton, I would feel like, okay, I worked in the studios night after night, writing songs, going to concerts, making all of you happy, entertaining people, entertaining everybody. Can I buy some Gucci flatware? Can I reward myself? I now made the damn label over $170 million. Can I buy some Gucci flatware or buy my house that I worked so hard for? Can I do that? My music changing people's lives, getting people out of depressions, babies being made off my music, and all that stuff. Can I buy some Gucci flatware and enjoy some rewards of my hard work? You know, and I'm not saying to go crazy. We saw what happened with MC Hammer. You can overspend. You still got to be smart with your money, you know, have investments and all that stuff, branch out to acting, deals again with companies and all of that, writing music, so much. So that's how Toni Braxton felt. You know, she felt humiliated by it. She was mad at Oprah about it and all of that stuff. And she did say, and it did say in the article about paying back the companies. I want to show you someone else who went into bankruptcy. It was a group and everybody was shocked when that happened. And she came out, Left Eye came out to explain this is how you can sell millions of records and make all this money and still end up broke. OK,
all right. This is how a group can sell 10 million records and be broke. And everyone get ready to do your math. When we first started out, we were kind of cocky. Okay, there are 100 points on the album. TLC had 7. Every point is equal to 8 cents. All right? 7 times 8, 56 cents. But as time went on, we learned a lot. That means every time an album gets sold, TLC gets 56 cents. So 10 million records, $5.6 million. Seems like a lot of money. Well, it's not a lot of money when the record company has spent $3 million to record your album. And in the record business, we pay all costs back to the record company. We pay recording costs, video costs. So now we have $2.6 million left. Well, guess what? When you have that much money, you're in about the 47, 48, 49% tax bracket. So that immediately gets deducted to $1.3 million. Then you split the rest 3 ways. You got about $300,000 a piece, if that much. Okay? $300,000. I can buy a nice house with that. And what am I going to pay my bills with?
Okay, so that was it for this story. And it's a learning lesson for anyone who wants to get into the music industry because it hasn't changed. And I was surprised hearing that you have to pay for your own music video, all of that. But things aren't free. It is a business, but goodness, that's why you see a lot of artists today trying to cut those costs, having a green screen. Sometimes the video can be a little bit low budget, but just because a video is low budget doesn't mean it can't be good. It doesn't mean it can't be great or good. If you are good with a great storyline, directing it yourself, that's how you save money, directing the video yourself, hiring somebody. You can hire, if you know a friend, it's ways around to save money as a music artist, especially, if you're an independent music artist. And that's the thing, when you're on a major record label, you don't have as much control. So they might do something that might cost $5,000 that you could have did yourself and paid somebody $700 for. You could easily go to the club and find a beautiful man or woman that you want in your video. Maybe they are they're trying to model already. And you're like, you know what? You would be perfect for my video. What would you think? $700? There are a lot of models and not even people you don't have to be an official model who would agree. And you're like, okay, I can go on Instagram. There's a local makeup artist. She's really good. She can take photos. This will be good for her to put on her Instagram, which will get her more notoriety, promotions and all that stuff. I'm gonna hire this woman off Instagram to do the makeup. Okay, this is a friend of mine, or a friend of the family, or relative, someone I saw at the club, at the mall. I approached. Would you like to be in my video as the lead and all of that? Everything will be handled. The makeup, I got the makeup artist and all that stuff. Because again, a major record label might pay a makeup artist, a lot of money, and if you were doing it yourself, you could hire someone off Instagram who did go to cosmetology school, who does do makeup, and pay $700 versus thousands that the record label is doing. Okay, again, picking out your own clothing, saving money. Who knows? Nobody knows where you bought your clothes from in a music video. As long as you look good and the outfit look good, that's all that matter. I don't care if the clothing came from the thrift store, from Rainbow, off eBay, Poshmark, Forever 21, don't matter. Style that outfit up yourself. Do your thing. Okay, come up with the video idea the best you can. Okay. As far as a director, there are people who literally do their own music videos, but you can hire a director, maybe an up-and-coming director. You checked out their work on Facebook or Instagram, and they do pretty decent work, and they're trying to get their name out. Come up with the idea of what you're doing together. All of that, you wrote the song yourself. You got it copywritten, so if you do take off, you're making your money. It's ways to keep that money yourself, versus if you were on the major record label. I mean, I'm not going to say you don't want a top quality video. We remember Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson's Scream video, the most expensive video in history. And a lot of people didn't think that at first because, it was a black and white video. It was very simple, but it was like very, 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 very expensive. But again, the only issue with being independent is the marketing part. Like I had a video, I do video reactions too. Check that out on my channel right here. And I reacted to Maya's video, Down, and she went to somewhere like Bali or Thailand or something. And it was a beautiful video. And she does a lot of things herself now as an independent artist. And, you put your music right here on YouTube and monetize your channel, making your music, making money right here on YouTube with your video, working with other artists. It's just so much. And I love music. Y'all know I do. I love music. I want to do some things in music. I'm not looking to be famous or anything. I just love music. I want to do a number of things with music. I love it. And I want to write some songs for people, all types of stuff. But, that's pretty much it for this article. I know, again, $1,000, $1,900 and something dollars they gave Toni, and she kept working and working and working and working, still working right now throughout her whole career, and, had to file for bankruptcy twice, but thankfully a lot of her debt is gone and she's still living well. She's doing good. And, again, so many people are now touring and stuff sometimes in her residency she had in Vegas, I believe. And so it's good for these type of articles to come out because it will really educate you and show you the truth on what the music business is, the business of it. And I wonder, though, if I was on let's say I'm like on LaFace Records, which I think, or a major record label. I wonder what happens if the artist, I'm like, well, if I have to pay everything back, do I have a say on who's going to be doing things for the video and all this? Like anything? I don't know if it's all left up to your management team and stuff, but I would feel like if you are going to charge me and I have to pay back all of these thousands to millions of dollars, I think I should have a say on who I'm hiring to do my makeup, my outfits, styling, the director, all of this. I think I should have a say, whether I'm on a major label or an independent label. I should have a say on that if I'm the one that's going to have to come out my pocket to pay y'all back and everything like that. So, I mean, I understand them spending money for a decent music video. And again, when you have your own record label, I bring up Maya a lot, but she started her record label, Planet 9. It's her label and she's the artist on her own label. I am the artist and this is my label. That means she's bringing in more money from every project that comes out because it's her own label that she's on as an artist. So she's getting that money back and everything like that and writing her songs. So smart move, smart move. And yeah, so tell me what you think below in the comments section about, the music business, the money, how much they paid Toni Braxton. What would you do if it was you? What would you do? I mean, you have a #1 hit throughout the whole country. You're glamorous, you're on tour, concerts, shows, and racking up all this money for the label, millions, and then that's what they give you. What would your reaction be? What would you do? And would it make you stay in the industry, or would it make you want to quit, or would you try to find ways to save money and do more things yourself under the label? Would you do, what would you do if it was you? What do you think about those clips that I shared? So let me know below, y'all. Thank you for joining me again. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If you have any stories, my email is in the description box, okay? So make sure you like, share, and subscribe again because you'll know when I'm live and when I upload. Bye, y'all.